Hello, this video is going to be very short. I will introduce to you what is literary analysis writing. The learning objective, like why we're doing this, is to understand the message or theme of the text, which is basically it's going to be related to Mirror by Sylvia Plath. And you will explain how the author uses literary tools like imagery, tone, etc. Why it's important? Because it helps you understand or read between the lines to find deeper meaning, build critical thinking and writing skills. It makes you more thoughtful and a confident reader. Now, what is literary analysis? It's when we carefully read a poem or a story to understand its deeper meaning. And we look at how the writer uses language, characters, literary devices to express ideas or emotions. For example, Mirror. Well, what were the emotions that the speaker or the poet was trying to convince? Sadness, depression, sorrowfulness, etc. This type of writing explains how and why the text happens. For example, what happens in the poem Mirror and how and why it happens. For example, what happens is a woman who looks at herself in the mirror. Okay, this is what happens, right? And then how it happens and why it happens. It happens by the poet Sylvia Plath when she uses personification and imagery to show the woman's sadness and fear of aging. And it's when she makes the mirror speak and the lake speak and all of that. Okay, now how to write literary analysis. We have 6 tips. So easy. So the first one, you will read the poem carefully more than once, and then you will try to feel the speaker and what she's saying. The second thing is you're going to highlight the words or images. For example, what are the important words in the poem Mirror? Mirror itself, right? And then the word lake, the word truth, the word old women, younger, terrible fish. All these words are important. Just highlight them. And then find the main theme. What message is the poet trying to give? For example, the truth about self-image and aging and all of that. And then you have to choose the literary devices that you're going to focus on in your essay. If you want to add all of them, up to you. If you want to add 2, up to you. If you want to add 1, it's up to you. For example, you're going to add personification, which is mirror speaking, imagery, visual, pictures like silver and exact, or the tone could be like calm, sad, and honest. And then you have to generate and create this statement. And I'll show you a few, don't worry. Then, of course, we're going to follow the same template for an essay, which is introduction, body paragraphs 1, 2, 3, and then conclusion. So, in the introduction, you will say what the poem is about and your thesis statement. And then the body paragraphs is where you're going to explain the main idea and you will get the quotes from the poem itself. And then for the conclusion, when you re-summarize your thesis statement. Okay, so the prompt for the writing is a mirror. Sylvia Plath gives a mirror a human voice. Write a short literary analysis of Plath's poem and use examples from it to support your ideas. In your short essay, explain first what is the poem or the theme of the poem, what literary devices, so more than one, Plath uses to show her message, and what the character or the woman in the poem feels or represent. You can hear in the character speak about the woman and how she feels, or the lake, or the mirror. Okay, now I'll explain the outline for the literary analysis step by step. First, the introduction. You will introduce first the poem and the poet briefly, and then you will write clear thesis statement about the poem, main idea or message. Okay, let us look for example for introduction. Mirror by Sylvia Plath is a poem that explores truth, self-reflection, and passage of time, right? I'm now introducing the poem. Through vivid imagery and carefully chosen words, Plath examines how people perceive themselves and confront reality. The poem shows that facing the truth about ourselves can be both painful and necessary. So I'm explaining the theme here, okay? Now, let us go to body paragraph number 1. The theme or the main idea. That's what you will write about in the first body. The topic sentence is identify one main theme or idea in the poem. And then you must use an evidence from the poem, a line or a phrase or an example, and it must be followed by an explanation how this evidence shows the theme or the idea. Okay, let us see what the first body paragraph that I have here. So I wrote this. One of the main themes in Mirror is self-awareness and acceptance. And then I'll explain. The mirror in the poem reflects reality without bias, showing both the speaker's youth and aging. And then, for instance, I'll write here, please use this. Write for instance, or for example, lines such as, okay, I don't have time to correct this, but anyways, lines such as, I'm silver and exact, emphasize the mirror, honesty, and this highlights the idea that understanding oneself honestly can be difficult, but it's an important part of life. So this is the theme and the main idea that the mirror is all about self-awareness and acceptance, and then I explained it. Now, what about body paragraph number 2? It's about the literary devices, the techniques that Sylvia Plath uses in this poem, which is the topic sentence has to focus on one or two literary devices that the poet uses, like simile, metaphor, imagery, symbolism, personification, etc., etc. Even the tone can be part of the literary devices. So you're going to give an example of that from the poem directly. Just pull the phrase or the line and then explain how this device helps convey meaning and emotion. If you're going to choose a simile, okay, the simile, what does it play in the story, in the poem? Does it give depth? Does it give comparison like this? So let us look for body paragraph number 2. What did I write? Plath uses literary devices such as personification and imagery to bring the poem to life. For example, the mirror says, now I'm a lake. A woman bends over me. By giving the mirror human qualities, Plath emphasizes its role as an observer, while the lake imagery conveys depth and emotional reflection. These devices help the reader feel the speaker's inner struggle and contemplation. So basically, this is about body paragraph number 2, the devices and what the devices help with. Let's go to body 3, the character analysis. The character, the speaker, the perspective, okay? So discuss the feelings and the thoughts and the perspective of the speaker or the character. Here you get to choose either the woman, either the mirror, either the lake, okay? You will provide an example and you have to reveal about the character and how it connects to the theme. Let us see what I wrote for body paragraph 3. The speaker in this poem experiences sadness and a sense of loss as she confronts aging. So my character is the woman. The line, in me, she had drowned a younger, and in me, an old woman, rises, illustrates her mourning of lost youth and the inevitability of change, and this perspective helps reader connect emotionally with the poem and reflect on their own experience of growth and self-acceptance. So that was my character analysis. Now let us go for the conclusion. Again, for the conclusion, what does the outline say? Restate your main idea or the thesis statement and add your final thought. Reflect on the poem's broader message and why it matters. So what I wrote here for conclusion is that in Mirror, Sylvia Plath presents an honest look at self-reflection, aging, and truth. The poem encourages readers to what? To cry? No. To face reality with courage, acknowledge both beauty and loss in life, and ultimately, Plath shows that understanding of oneself is oneself fully requires honesty, patience, and self-acceptance. So that was regarding the outline. Please write the outline in your copybook. and then afterwards go with the literary essay. Remember that the deadline is going to be Sunday, 26th of October. Bye bye.